A very bad original concept. It was carried out poorly, and the cover-up was one of the worst in the history of cover-up. Very simple. Bad deal, should have never been thought of. Somebody really messed up, and they had the worst cover-up ever. And where it should have stopped is at the deal standpoint when they thought about it, because whoever thought of that idea is in big trouble.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I try to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
And then they have cans of soup, and they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup from my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
Here's the polls, Jack. You guys are all the same.
So stupid. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
But it's a class action lawsuit against all machines and that they're defective devices.
We've ended the war on American energy. We were in war. And we've ended the war on beautiful, clean coal, one of our great natural resources.
That will enhance our underlying effort to accommodate the Russian oligarchs and make sure we take their ill-begotten gains. We're going to accommodate them. We're going to seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. The guys who are the kleptocracy. But these are bad guys.
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of the Goddamn. Gonna be doing a show today at the Goddamn Studios, aka my bedroom. Hello, everybody. This is the Above It All show. I do a show. This is the Saturday, I think. Saturday or Sunday. Not quite sure. Could be either one. I have no idea. But it is either Saturday or Sunday. It's showtime, everybody. And doing a show. It's time for the show. And it's 1,692 of these that I've done, and that's a lot. It is September 24th. It's not bad. I'm drinking seltzer, so I might be burping. I'm not sure. But anyway, we got a show lining it up for today. It's lined. We're doing some lines on today's stream because I've got the show lined up. Where do we even begin? How do I even start such a program? There's so much to start. Okay. All right. We're going to be talking about stupid fucking Republicans on today's show. I know it's a theme of mine recently, is to talk about these fucking, like, you know, like these dumb motherfuckers. And so let's start off with this episodic installation of stupid fucking Republicans. Arizona judge rules that the state can enforce a near total abortion ban. So recently, a Michigan court, the Michigan Supreme Court, ruled that the 1931 trigger ban in Michigan cannot take place. It's just you can't do it. And Arizona, they've got a 1900s law. Now I say 1900s, a 20th century law. But really, it's more like a 19th century law. Let's check this out. An Arizona Superior Court judge ruled Friday that a 1901 ban on nearly all abortions in the state can be enforced, a decision that is likely to see an appeal and is all but certain to galvanize female voters to turn out in greater numbers in the state's closely contested U.S. Senate and governor's races. In ruling that Arizona's near total ban on abortion could take effect, Pima County Superior Court Judge Kelly Johnson granted a request by the state's Republican Attorney General to lift a court injunction that had barred enforcement of Arizona's pre-statehood ban on abortion. Okay, pre-statehood ban. Motherfuckers longer. This abortion ban is older than Arizona itself. Holy fucking moly. Quote, the court finds that because the legal basis for the judgment entered in 1973 has now been overruled, it must vacate the judgment in its entirety, Johnson wrote in the ruling released on Friday. The case has thrust the issue of how restrictive abortion law should be in Arizona, a swing state that President Joe Biden carried by fewer than 11,000 votes. It's a controversial topic that has divided Republicans in Arizona and is reflective of a pitched debate nationwide in the wake of the U.S. Supreme Court. I just want to say that CNN, I'm reading from CNN on this one, but like, I love just the idea that mainstream media calls this a debate. What's the debate? Nobody's debating. Republicans aren't debating. Democrats aren't debating. Democrats aren't debating Democrats. Republicans aren't debating Republicans. Democrats aren't debating Republicans. Who the fuck is debating this shit? This is about power. This isn't about debate. We're not debating anything. This is a power scenario. Whoever's in power is going to win, right? And if it were based on debate, if it were based on, who has a more popular idea on the battlefield of ideas, Motherfuckers, this would have been fucking settled a long time ago. Abortion access has like 70 to 80% approval rating in this country. There is no debate, right? So the idea that this is, oh, it's a debate, who knows? People have opposing sides. There are no opposing sides. There is people that care about having access to healthcare, and then there's crazy motherfuckers who want to control everyone else. Guess what, motherfucker? There is no debate, okay? There never was a debate. There never will be a debate on this subject. It's about power. That's it. End of story. But anyway, there you go. If you live in Arizona, vote these motherfuckers out. And if you don't live in Arizona, well, I'm sure you can still vote one of these motherfuckers out in your area. But again, this is about power. There is no debate. The abortion debate happened a long time ago, and it's got a 70 to 80% approval rating. My opinion, Roe v. Wade is a compromise position that I think is too right-wing for me. I personally think Roe v. Wade is bad for reasons that Republicans would not agree with. I believe anybody should get an abortion for any reason, anytime they want. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. No one should be able to, like, come into your fucking doctor room or whatever and, like, ask you important or, like, you know, personal medical questions. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. There shouldn't be a panel that has to approve of this. That I don't care about. Oh, the court shouldn't have to decide. You shouldn't need a court order to go to the doctor. You shouldn't need a board or a panel to decide whether or not you're allowed to have a medical procedure. That's my opinion. So anyway, fuck all these Republicans and fuck these goddamn so-called pro-life Democrats. Fuck them all straight to hell. And there is no debate. There never will be a debate. I'm sorry. If Republicans were interested in debating, they would have debated that shit a long fucking time ago. But instead, they decided to usurp minoritarian rule over this country and destroy our country with 30 to 40% support. 20 to 30% support, not even close to 40%. That's a huge... Again, the Republican Party makes up about 18% of registered voters. 18% of citizens in this country are Republicans, voting eligible citizens. Though a lot of people in this country aren't registered to vote because they've got their own form of neurosis. Their brain has been destroyed by some reason or another. Maybe they're listening to too much Jimmy Dore. Who knows? Again, our country, pretty fucking stupid. We got some stupid motherfuckers in this country, so we got to keep this in mind. And apparently, Arizona, we're no longer a state. If you live in Arizona, you're a territory because that's what the law is going back toward. So, there you go. All right. We've got a show. Y'all, there's a show going on. And it's actually on YouTube. It's this show. I don't know if you've heard of it. Personally, it's kind of underground, so I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it is a show. I don't know if, and it does exist. It's called the Above It All Show. And you can check it out here. It's actually, it's live streamed, and you can check it out. This is the Above It All Show. And, so definitely check that out. It's very cool. And, I gotta advertise the Above It All Show. But, so there you go. That's the show. And, let's continue. So, in, our next episode of stupid fucking motherfucking Republicans, like, holy fucking fuck, man. We got some stupid ass bitches here. So in the next episode of stupid ass motherfucking Republicans, I've got an article from The Hill. This is The Hill. This is the, at some point in time, possibly as of right now, but owned by multiple billionaires that love Donald Trump. This is The Hill. And they published an article. This is an article by Emily Brooks. I don't know who that is, and I don't aspire to know who that is. 5 things Republicans would do in a House majority. So, I don't, Steve Scalise is looking a little weird over there. But anyway, yeah, so let's just read this shit. Apparently, Kevin McCarthy posted some planks or whatever, Republican Party platform, I don't know. So the first thing in bold is take aim at the IRS. Now, why would Republicans want to take aim at the IRS? I don't know. Maybe they're the party of tax fraud. I'm not sure. One thing I just want to say this, personally, I don't care about tax fraud. I think that tax fraud is only a problem if you're a billionaire. That's my opinion. Also, I mean, we print our own currency. Taxes don't really mean much anymore anyway. But as far as tax fraud goes, I don't know, man. If you're a billionaire, go fuck yourself. You should be paying your taxes. In fact, you shouldn't even be allowed to be a billionaire. My opinion, there should be a 100% wealth tax over, I don't know, $250 million. 100% of your wealth goes to the government. That's my opinion. Anything other than that, I don't fucking care. If you make less than that much money, I don't give a shit how much tax you pay. I don't give a shit what kind of taxes you pay. I don't give a shit about your tax payment frequency. I don't give a fuck. Okay, so I'm just throwing that out there. House Republicans' first bill, McCarthy announced at a Friday rollout event, will aim to reverse the portion of the Inflation Reduction Act signed into law this summer that provides $80 billion to the IRS and significantly boosts staff. Now, again, the IRA's bill, not to be confused with the, the group in Ireland, but the IRA bill, or I guess act, what it does is it targets rich people. It targets rich people with the IRS. So note that. Note that. The IRA actually specifically goes after people that are higher earners. That's why Republicans want to target the IRS. They don't give a shit about the IRS harassing poor people or, auditing someone that makes like $20K a year. They don't give a fuck about that. They couldn't fucking give a shit less. All they fucking care about is helping their billionaire buddies. Right, so I'm just throwing that out there. We're going to repeal 87,000 IRS. There's also these fucking conspiracies that like the IRS or whatever is like they're training agents like with guns that they're going to go in and kill people that are late on their taxes or something. Like there's a lot of crazy ass conspiracy theories going on about the IRS. And so I don't know, man. I don't know. Launch a flood of investigations. Okay, well, we're going to investigate. What are we going to investigate? I don't know. Perhaps the biggest tool for a GOP-led House with a Democratic president able to veto Republican bills would be the power to direct hearings and demand information and documents. Republicans promised to conduct rigorous oversight to rein in government abuse of power and corruption, and flaunted that they have already sent more than 500 requests for information and documents. So again, corruption. Now, can we talk about corruption in Democratic White House? Absolutely. 100%. 100%. Any day of the week, I'm down to talk about how Joe Biden can be corrupted and has done some corrupt dealings. 100% okay to talk about that. But you want to know the list of people who have no right to talk about corruption in the White House? Republicans. Trump voters. Why? I mean, just fucking come on now, right? Look at what goddamn Donald Trump is doing, giving business deals to Saudi Arabia, and then, allowing them to kill a journalist for no reason. Just look at what he did with the classified documents with the FBI raid. He stole government property. If I were to have stolen classified information, I would be probably not even in jail. I'd have been executed by now. Donald Trump's still walking around, right? So again, the last people I care about at all when it comes to talking about corruption are Republicans. So they plan to investigate the Biden administration's handling of the withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan. Of course, when Trump said we're going to get out of Afghanistan, Republicans are like, oh, yes, we got, right? And then Joe Biden actually does it, and Republicans are like, ah, right? So again, these dumbass motherfuckers, with several House Republicans pledging to specifically investigate Fauci, the chief medical advisor to Biden and longtime director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases and policies on the U.S.-Mexico border. So why are they going to go after Fauci? Who knows? Why? Like, policies on the U.S.-Mexico border? It's a closed, heavily secured border. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do there. But again, it's all about getting on TV to wave their conspiracies around. And that's really all it is. Quote, we will give the Homeland Security Secretary blah, 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 blah. Anyway, Rep. Jim Jorgen also said that he would look into the Department of Justice as chair of the House Judiciary Committee. He's going to look into the Department of Justice. Really? He's going to look into it. Okay, well, let's find out now what he's going to look into. The number one thing is this weaponization of the DOJ against the American people. Against the American people? Against the American people? The DOJ is going after American people now? Well, I mean, we can have a debate. We can have an argument. We can discuss facts about the FBI, the DOJ, going after, I don't know, black activists, for example. Maybe civil rights leaders in the 1950s, 60s, 70s. Maybe we can talk about the FBI, or, maybe the FBI was involved in some assassinations. Who knows? Martin Luther King Jr., for example, they threatened him the day that he was assassinated. They threatened him for weeks and weeks and months and months and months and years and years and years. They also threatened him the day he was assassinated. So who knows? We could talk about the DOJ, the FBI, and their crimes against the American people. But of course, Jim Jordan doesn't give a fuck about that. He doesn't give a fuck about that. He only cares, oh, Donald Trump was raided, oh, and Donald Trump is the representation of the will of the people or some fucking shit. Anyway. Oh, they're going to fucking investigate Hunter Biden, Christ's sake. All right, wade into school culture war issues. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, here we go. McCarthy's plan calls to defend fairness by ensuring that only women can compete in women's sports. And he has specifically said that he would bring up the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act. So again, fairness. Let's talk about fairness for a second here. Fairness in sports. Fairness in sports. Well, let's talk about one example of fairness in sports. So there's a swimmer, an Olympic swimmer by the name of Michael Phelps. And Michael Phelps was able to dominate his sport because of the totally fair genetic mutation that he has that makes him, he has a very rare genetic mutation that makes him better than everyone else just by default. Just by default, because he was lucky. He got born into the right genetic set, and now he's the best at swimming, right? So when we talk about fairness, when all human beings are different, all human beings have different sets of genes, right? If we want to talk about fairness, the only way to accomplish this would be to properly screen every single person who plays sports, their genome. That's the only way to participate, right? You have to have height classes, weight classes. Maybe we should mandate what diets these athletes are on, because, you know, if you eat a diet of refined carbohydrates, fast food, McDonald's, you're going to perform a lot less efficiently compared to someone who's eating salads every day, you know, lots of vegetables, some fruits, right? You're going to be competing a lot worse. So maybe we should go into these people's private lives, control their diet. I mean, hey, these are the motherfuckers talking about fairness in sports. I don't give a fuck about fairness in sports. I don't care. Fuck sports. Fuck fairness. There is no such thing as fairness, and sports are made up anyway. I don't give a fuck about this. These are the motherfuckers that care about fairness in sports. So, I don't know, man. Seems to me like they don't really care about fairness in sports. They just want to harass minorities. So anyway, next. Push domestic energy and gas production. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Republicans put a large focus on increasing domestic energy as a means of lowering fuel prices and increasing the number of well-paying jobs. The platform calls to cut the permitting process time in half to reduce reliance on foreign countries, House Republicans unveiled. Now again, if you want to do this, push domestic energy and gas production, I want you to understand this. The United States of America is a big-time exporter of oil and gas. If you want to stop relying on foreign governments, you know what you would do? You would nationalize the energy sector. What you would do is, now my opinion, send all the oil and gas company executives to jail and just steal all of their shit because they're fucking criminals anyway. That's my opinion. But if you want to do it fair, you know, they love fairness. You want to be nice to the billionaires and the criminals who destroyed our economy in 2008 and onward, destroyed our planet. You want to be fair to them in some way, whatever. Fuck you. We can buy it from them. Why? We print our own currency, right? So we can just buy all of it from them, right? We are a net exporter. We export. Why? Because it's more profitable for corporations to export while the people in this country suffer. So now again, obviously, I want to diminish the reliance on fossil fuel and gas and so forth in this country. But again, if you cared about domestic energy and having access to energy, what you would do is nationalize this sector, take all that fucking shit under government control. So, just throwing that out there. Is there anything else? Scrutinize local crime policies. Oh boy! High crime rates have been a major midterm campaign topic, and an NBC News poll released this week found that the GOP, with a 23% point edge over Democrats when voters were asked who could better handle the issue. Now, I just want to say this. Now, again, another example of Americans being brain-dead, stupid motherfuckers. Republicans and Democrats are both equally pro-law enforcement. I wish that wasn't the case. I wish Democrats would actually fucking put their foot down in favor of American safety and civilians. I wish that was the case. But we don't live in that world. Joe Biden, one of the first things Joe Biden did after running on a platform of, oh, we're going to change policing and make them more fair and whatever. One of the first things he did was pledge a 3 times increase of police funding. That was one of the first things he did as president, 3 times increase on police funding. So the idea that anybody thinks that the GOP is more pro-law enforcement than Democrats, I'm sorry, you're fucking brainwashed. Your opinion doesn't fucking matter. You live in La La Land. Go fuck yourself. So, anyway, this article's fucking stupid, and there's, of course, no critical, shit going on when it comes to the Republicans. And the Republican Party's just fucking crazy. So if anyone votes for these people, I mean, again, you're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot, man. You are a fucking idiot if you vote for Republicans. Full stop. Full fucking stop. Right? There is no, like, I don't care about hearing your case. Right? All I need to know, if you want the most, single, point of data, right, when judging if someone is a fucking idiot or not, right, the way to find that out is ask them who they vote for. If they vote for Republicans, they're a fucking idiot. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to ask them about, any other politics. They're just fucking stupid. They can't parse basic facts, basic logic, basic reasoning, or they don't care, and they just trust Republicans. They put a blanket trust on them, which is even dumber, right? So I don't know, man. Fuck these motherfuckers, and anyone who supports them, they're all fucking stupid. But there you go. That's 5 things that Republicans would do with a House majority. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Oh, I will never understand why Trump didn't just make copies and be done with all this shit. He's truly a dumb fuck to get caught over some stupid shit. Well, first of all, I would bet money that there are copies. I'm just saying this much. I would bet thousands of dollars that he has copies stashed somewhere. I mean, there were 48 empty folders. That motherfucker's got copies somewhere. Where were they at? If the folders are empty, where were they at? Probably at the fucking copy machine. Hey, John Ross. What is up? Just doing a show? We got a dumb fuck in the chat. I love how, one of the, my favorite things is when people, come into my chat room and, accuse me of murder or, accuse me of rape. They just come in here and they say these random... They accuse me of being, a criminal. They just make these random accusations. And it's do they think that anyone actually believes that? Oh, yes, I carried out a murder on some random person I've never heard of. It's all my fault. I'm the mastermind. What? Yes, actually, in my spare time, I'm a serial rapist. I've raped at least 28. What? Again. Oh yes. I've committed all these crimes. I'm a drug dealer. I'm a kingpin, queenpin, whatever. I'm committing serial tax fraud. I'm destroying the fuck. What the fuck? I mean, seriously, I am some stupid fucking loser that does a show in my bedroom. I do a show every day. When would I have time? When would I have fucking time to go orchestrate mass murders? I mean, fuck me, man. Holy fucking shit. Anyway, we're doing a show. I got a show going on today. Doing a show today. Again, we'll be doing a movie review later today. Going to be reviewing the 2010 version of A Nightmare on Elm Street. I have a lot to say. Well, maybe not that much, but I do have quite a bit to say. So tune in at the end of the show for that. If you didn't watch it last night, first of all, go fuck yourself. Second of all, fuck you again. And then third of all, fuck you one more time, okay? Have you apologized for the mass genocide you committed in the early 1940s? I have apologized for that, but some said that my apology was not adequate, so, take it or leave it, But anyway, it appears that this guy fucked off, which is always a good thing. Anyway, got a show going on. Alabama abandons execution after failing to find vein for lethal injection. Oh boy. Prison officials in Alabama abandoned an attempted lethal injection of a man on Thursday after trouble accessing his veins. 2 months after the state was accused of cruel and unusual punishment when it spent 3 hours executing Joe Nathan James. Now, I just want to say this, my opinion on the death penalty. All jokes aside, I'm 100% against the death penalty. The government does not have the right to kill people. That's just my opinion. Now, I have been the victim in many crimes. You don't think I'd love for the state to come in and kill some motherfucker? Wrong. You know what? Honestly, I'm going to say this very honestly and very clearly, right? What is the difference? What is the difference between, someone hurts you, someone hurts your family member, kills someone you love, right? And you go hiring an assassin. Like, you go on the dark web, whatever, maybe you know someone in the mob. You hire an assassin, right, to go kill them. What is the difference in that versus the government committing an execution? There is no difference, right? In this instance, the government acts as, a mob, right? A mafia kind of thing. They're going out there, they're killing people, right? Because you said so, right? There have been many people that have been killed in executions, and the only thing that convicted them was a witness testimony. And then sometimes later on, those witnesses will say, actually, I was lying, or actually, I misremembered, or whatever, right? So I just want to say that, okay? I don't believe in the death penalty. Now, that said, let's say I'm in a position where I want to get revenge. The idea that I would ask an assassin to get revenge for me, where's the fun in that? If I want to get revenge against someone, if someone wronged me or killed someone I love, whatever, and I want to dedicate myself to getting revenge, right? I would do it my fucking self. I wouldn't want some big fucking daddy bitch to come in and fucking walk all over that shit and do it for me. That's bullshit, man. So again, the death penalty, wrong in every way. You know what? You don't care about murder that much? Fine. Whatever. It's still pussy shit, okay? Anyway. This article gets a little bit interesting. Alabama halted the execution of Alan Miller, who was convicted of killing 3 people in a shooting in 1999 after they determined they could not get the lethal injection underway before a midnight deadline. Quote, due to time constraints resulting from the lateness of the court proceedings, the execution was called off once it was determined the condemned inmate's veins could not be accessed in accordance with our protocol before the expiration of the death warrant. John Hamm, Alabama Corrections Commissioner, said. John Hamm? The motherfucker in Mad Men? What? Why the hell is John Hamm in Alabama, and why the hell is he in charge of executing people? What the fuck, man? I thought this guy was making TV shows. What the hell's going on here? This is some fucked up shit. Anyway, Hamm said that accessing the veins was taking a little bit longer than we anticipated. He did not know how long the team, this is outside of the quote, he did not know how long the team tried to establish a connection, but said that there are a number of procedures to be done before the team begins to connect the intravenous line. A federal judge on Friday ordered Alabama state prison officials to preserve records and medical supplies associated with the attempt to execute Miller at the request of the condemned man's attorneys. Now again, we live in a country with an 8th Amendment protection against cruel and unusual punishment, and yet this same government kills people. I mean, again, I just, we live in such a stupid fucking goddamn country, right? Such a fucking stupid fucking goddamn country. Now, again, what do we do if murder is wrong? If killing someone is wrong, what do we do with the people that put the drugs in their veins? What do we do with the people that pull the lever? They killed someone. They murdered someone. Now, again, a lot of people say, well, killing someone isn't always murder. Sometimes it's self-defense. Now, you tell me this. Someone is chained to a chair, chained to some, bed. They are chained. They cannot move. And you pull the lever. Is that self-defense? Fuck no, man. That's murder. I'm sorry. Your life was not in danger. That's murder. You murdered them. If someone is coming into my house and I have a gun and I point my gun at them and they turn around and run away and I shoot them anyway, they're in my house. Let's say they tried to kill me. Let's say they killed, like, my sister, right? I don't have a sister, but let's say they did that. And I shot them as they were running away. I would be a murderer. That would no longer be self-defense. You're a cop. You can shoot someone who runs away. That's self-defense all of a sudden, right? So, I don't know, man. Seems the laws in this country pretty fucked up. Pretty fucked up. Now, again, we know that there's about an 8% margin of error when it comes to executions in this country. Around 8% of the time, whoops, they were innocent. Whoops, my bad. That person actually didn't even do any crime, let alone a crime worthy of the death penalty. They were murdered anyway. What? Now let's assume, okay, you want the state to come in and murder someone who raped you? All right, fine. Okay. How can you sleep at night knowing that 8% of the time that actually doesn't happen? 8% of the time it's someone, maybe it's your brother, who's a great person. The guy was in the wrong place at the wrong time. A camera picked them up or whatever. They were just walking into the store. They left. They just getting some cigarettes, whatever. Now they're in jail. Now they're on the death row. How would you feel about that? 8% of the time, some totally random person gets fucking executed for no reason? I don't know, man. And so again, every reason you can come up with supporting the death penalty, it's a bunch of stupid motherfuckers. If I want to get revenge on someone, if I want someone to die for crimes that they committed against me or my family, I'm not going to fucking hire an assassin to go do that shit. I'm not going to hire some fucking hit squad. I'm going to go do that shit my fucking self. Why? Because guess what? Revenge is only revenge when you do it your fucking self. Oh, hey, go kill some guy for me. That's not fucking revenge. That's you being a fucking pussy freak, okay? Having the government kill people for you, that's not fucking revenge. I'm sorry. That is not satisfactory. So anyway, I don't know why John Hamm, I guess, his career after Mad Men isn't really doing so well. I don't know why he's getting involved. But anyway, hopefully, I don't even know what to say. They just stopped the execution for a technicality. This guy's going to get fucking offed any day now, probably in a week, probably in a month at the maximum. But again, cruel and unusual punishment is a constitutional protection, yet the government kills people. Make it make sense. We live in a stupid fucking country, stupid fucking rules, stupid fucking leaders, stupid fucking citizens, stupid fucking people. Everyone in this fucking country is fucking dumb as hell, okay? Anybody that supports the death penalty, stupid motherfucker, stupid motherfucker. Again, if I want someone killed, I would do it my fucking self. I'm not gonna fucking cry and whine to Big Daddy government to go pull the lever for me, okay? And again, if the only way you can kill someone and it's justified as self-defense, motherfuckers pulling the lever when some guy's chained up, that's not self-defense. That's not self-defense. Now again, let's say someone commits a crime against me. I see their face. I know who it is. And I go out and carry revenge. I would be breaking the law. But let's say, I don't know, I go to the state picks up some random guy, and I say, that's not them, right? Or maybe I don't remember. Maybe I say that is them. They killed an innocent person, which happens all the time. Every year, there are dozens of people executed. They committed no crime. So, I don't know, man. Where's the fun in that? I don't know. If I'm trying to get revenge, the idea of going to a courtroom, that's a waste of my fucking time. That's a waste of my money, right? I don't know, man. I can't come up with any good reason for a death penalty in this country. I just can't figure it out. I mean, I can't come up with a good reason for prisons in this country. I can't figure it out. But we live in a country of stupid motherfuckers, so I don't know what to tell you, but there you go. Everyone I don't like is a rapist. This is, my statement of fact. Hello, everyone. My name is Anon Yimis. I am a world-famous speaker, and I wrote the book, Everyone I Don't Like is a Rapist. I'm here on a book tour, and I just wanted to let everyone know that, yes, if I don't like you, I don't know anything about you. I don't have to know anything about you. I can just look at you and tell you're a rapist because I'm extremely smart. Now, again, I just want to ask you this question, right? What kind of socially depraved animal goes up to strangers and just insults them willy-nilly. Like, that's weird, man. Like, again, like, this is the mindset of, like, oh, I triggered the libs. Like, again, imagine you're on a fucking plane, right? You sit down, right? Oh, do I have the aisle to yourself? Oh, maybe I'm going to get lucky. Then someone sits next to you, right? The plane takes off, right? And then, let's say the person next to you, right? This is you. This is your ear. They just go like this. And then you're like, whoa, what the fuck are you doing? And then they go, triggered, 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 triggered. Like, are you 6 years? No, not even 6. Like, are you 2 years old? What? Like, who does that? But all of a sudden, we're on the internet, right? You can wear a mask and you just go, triggered. Ha, I triggered you. No, you're just being annoying, dude. You didn't trigger anybody. You're just annoying. Like, congratulations, you're annoying. Like, I don't know what else you want. Like, what the fuck, man? Hi, Max. Max the dog is wondering why I'm making such bizarre noises. Max! He is a dog, folks. This dog. All right, Max, that's enough. Doing a show today. Doing a program. Today's the Above It All show 1692. And we're doing it. It's a show. It's happening. It's actually a live show. In fact, you can tell it's live because check this out. Check this out. Look, it's 12:42 Saturday, September. Look at that. It's live. This is a live show. And so I don't know what to tell you. It's a live show, and I'm doing a live. So it's a live show. And I'm here, and I will be taking questions, but not right now. So I'm a little belchy today. I'm having a seltzer. So bear with me. And anyway, so we got a show, doing a program. Let's we're continuing the trend. We're talking about some fucked up motherfuckers today. Some really stupid ass motherfuckers. Okay, so I've got this story here. I loaded it up. It's it's available on the internet. But this is from Raw Story. Quote: Day of trauma. Students told they were going to career fair taken to anti-LGBTQ church service. Okay, so let me get this straight. Right, all the facts are on the table here right now. So, the groups that are concerned about groomers, that is their number one thing. Groomers, we got to stop the groomers. Right? Now, well, who is the number one institution in this country that grooms children, rapes children, molests children, etc.? It's the Catholic Church. It's religion, religious institutions. Number one when it comes to grooming, raping, and molesting kids. So the group that is ostensibly designed to, combat groomers, they really are concerned about groomers, they lie and kidnap children and bring them to where the groomers are making up their shop. Huh. It's almost like these motherfuckers don't give a shit about grooming. A group of students in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, because of course, thought that they were going to a career fair on Tuesday. Instead, they found that they had been sent to an event described as an anti-LGBTQ church service. According to Baton Rouge-based newspaper The Advocate, over 2,100 students from local high schools in the East Baton Rouge Parish School System were told that they were participating in a district-wide college and career fair. However, when they arrived at their destination, the students, most of whom were seniors, discovered that they had been dropped off at an event called Day of Hope at the Living Faith Christian Center. Day of Hope, really. Well, I'm glad that, I'd rather be dropped off at the Day of Hope than just dropped off at a closed, empty church, I'm glad it's the Day of Hope. Let's hope. And when we're done hoping, let's pray. According to reports, many of the students came away from this event feeling traumatized, as the Day of Hope was centered on a number of sexually charged anti-LGBT issues. This reportedly included separating the kids by male and female and forcing male and female transgender students to participate in discussions with the opposite sex. Additionally, one parent said that a number of transgender students were bullied during the event. Quote, other students... Now, again, I just want to say, once again, our country has a separation of church and state. A school teaming up with the church for a church service that is illegal. All of these people belong in jail. They have violated this country's constitution. Quote, other students poured water on top of transgender students' heads without any repercussions by any of the adults present. Oh, sanctioned bullying. That's great. Brittany Bryant, a mother of a transgender child and a high school biology teacher, wrote on Facebook, quote, they talked about rape and forgiving the offender, suicide, prayer, leadership, and many more dark, controversial topics. We had females in bathrooms crying due to the topics of discussion. Bryant also wrote that the, quote, boys' talk also involved physical challenges, something the girls' talk did not. From the beginning, no topics were discussed, but they began male chauvinistic competition for monetary reward for winners. What? So you pay a bunch of susceptible kids to, fight each other for money? At a church? What? What? Then proceeded to compete for push-ups for more money. They were hyped up and egged on. What? That is weird-ass shit, man. We talk about grooming. That is some weird-ass shit. Bryant told The Advocate, while she was afraid of speaking out, she felt that she had to bring the story to light. Another parent wrote on Facebook, Day of Hope, more like Day of Trauma. You prayed over my child, told her that she should remain abstinent, talked to her about suicide, and told her that if she's being abused in a domestic violence situation, that she should forgive her abuser, even if he's not sorry. Now again, if this were to have happened to me when I was a kid, god damn, they would have had to drag me out in handcuffs. I would have made a scene. But if I'm a parent and this happens to my kid, once again, someone's going to have to bring the handcuffs because that's some crazy ass fucking shit. One high schooler, senior Alexis Budyak, wrote on Facebook, the majority of students chose to attend this field trip on the promise of free food and the opportunity to skip class. However, the majority of students were not only disappointed by this event, but traumatized as well. The East Baton Rouge Parish School System responded to the outrage in a statement Wednesday, saying that the event was structured to assist students with exploring what options are. Not even going to bother reading that. But anyway, there you go. Again, there's a separation in church and state in this country. Is anyone going to be charged for this? Is anyone going to be fired at the very least? Fired, maybe banned from public schooling over this? They violated the Constitution of the United States of America. They have desecrated the Constitution of this country. Are they going to be held to account? Of course not, because we live in America, and the powerful, the rich, will always get away with everything. It doesn't matter how many victims there are. It doesn't matter how many people are injured. It doesn't matter how many people are hurt, emotionally, physically. That doesn't matter, because they are rich, they are powerful, they are on the side of power, they are on the side of God. And in a country whose founding principle is there is a separation of church and state, somehow the God people managed to rig our system so much that they're going to get off the hook for everything. Andrew Kohler, parish is county in, if you refer to a county in 49 of the states, in Louisiana, they call counties parishes. Now, unless it's specifically like a parish of this church, but I did not I did not get that here. It didn't imply that in any fashion. But in Louisiana, they call counties parishes. So it's East Baton Rouge Parish School System. So the parish, aka county, is East Baton Rouge, I would imagine. But yes, it is bizarre that that state calls them parishes. It's bizarre. It leads to a lot of weird shit. But that's just what the world we live in is. Hello, Terrence Trumbo. Perish? More like they should perish for doing something so fucking... I agree. Dumbass motherfuckers. Yeah, Christians are just fucking stupid, man. I don't know what to tell you. Christians are dumb as hell. But, you know, they really did trigger those high school students. Man, they got epic triggered. The woke high school seniors got triggered epic style by the East Baton Rouge Parish School System. Triggered! Like, yeah, we have like 20% of this country. 20% of this country. They're literally, their entire identity, not political identity, but just identity. Their entire identity as a human being is to trigger people. That's 20%, 1/5 of human beings. They walk around, triggered, you're triggered, ha ha! Like, that's what they do. That's how they vote. That's how they act. What? How did we get to a place in this world where 1/5 of civilians in this country, their single and foremost goal in life is to just trigger random people they've never met for no reason? It's bizarre. It's bizarre. Seth Meyers reported that 80% of Americans have not cried over the Queen's death, which means, one, that 20% have, and two, someone decided to make a poll about this. Now, I'm glad that that poll was done. I'd love if you could send that to me at some point. Anybody? Now, again, this, I just said that about 1/5 of people in this country are just brain dead, fucking dumb as a motherfucker. Like, you see this fucking goddamn seltzer can? About 20% of Americans have a lower IQ than this seltzer can. Right, so that tracks. That tracks. There have been multiple studies. And usually when you find any poll... Right, now again, sometimes you find an issue where the majority of Americans are fucking dumber than dumpster sludge. Right? Every now and then. But pretty much almost any issue, you're going to see that 15 to 20% number pop up. You know, it's like the 20% of Americans that refused to wash their hands at the start of the pandemic, right? Like the 20% of Americans who are registered Republicans, right? Like, you know, like you always see these 15 to 20%. Now, there's some things that sometimes you find an issue that's like 90% of people agree on. That's very rare. That's very rare. But yeah, it's about 15 to 20% are just irredeemable fucking garbage. And then the other 30%, you know, that makes up into the average, like the below average intelligence Americans, right? Because if we say 50% is the average intelligence, right? And about 15 to 20% are just literally not, they couldn't even score on an IQ test, right? Like, imagine like an IQ test is like on the wall and they're playing darts, right? They will throw the dart behind them. That's how bad they can't score in the IQ test. That's 15 to 20%, right? About 30%-ish that leaves below average intelligence. They can pretty much go anyway, right? They're a little bit smarter than the dumpster sludge, but I mean, like, again, this is their IQ. Right? Like, whoever's, like, the last person to talk to them, you know, like, think about, like, the Joe Rogan, right? Whoever's the last person to talk to them, that's their politics, right? Ben Shapiro talks to you last, you're Ben Shapiro. That's your politics. Like, Adolf Hitler talks to you, you know, you just hang up the phone, you're Adolf Hitler. That's your politics. That's about 30% of Americans. Just stupid motherfuckers. Dumbass motherfuckers. But there is about 15 to 20% that are just like that shit will blow your mind how dumb these motherfuckers are. They will blow your fucking mind. I will tell you this. being on the internet and doing a show like this, being involved with organizations, organizing, being politically active, going to campaign events, doing canvassing, knocking on doors, right? Like meeting a lot of random people. I've moved around the country a lot. I can tell you, the average American fucking dumb as hell. Like, and again, we're talking about average. We're talking about like 50%, like the middle we're talking about. Dumb as fuck, right? So you can have an American that has above average intelligence and they're still fucking stupid as shit. Like that's how, like that's where we're at in this country. We're like average intelligence is not even a good thing. Like we're at a situation where like you need to be like triple XXXX, like plus S tier above average intelligence. And then maybe you get like an IQ of like 85, right? Like that's, So I don't know, man. We live in a crazy ass time in a crazy ass country. Max the dog is on the move. Think of how dumb the average person is, and then remember half of them are even. It's right. But again, I'm going to reverse that, right? Think of how dumb the average person is, right? There's like a solid 25-30% that are smarter than the average person and still dumber than fucking shit fuck. Like that's what's crazy. That's what's crazy. Like again, average intelligence gives you can be smarter than average and still be a fucking shithead dumbass. You know what I mean? Oh. All right. Republican gubernatorial nominee for governor. That's what gubernatorial means. In Michigan, her name is apparently, now again, I don't know, because Tudor Dixon. It's a weird ass name, but her name is apparently Tudor Dixon. Made a joke about the fact that her political party and the people inside of her political party tried to kidnap the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, in 2020. And let's listen.
The sad thing is that Gretchen will tie your hands, put a gun to your head, and ask if you're ready to talk.
So, where's the source? That Gretchen Whitmer, Big Gretch, she is apparently like a mobster, right? She goes around and like ties people up, like maybe she's into bondage, I don't know. And she puts guns to their heads, apparently. Are there sources? No? But okay.
For someone so worried about being kidnapped, Gretchen Whitmer sure is good at taking business hostage and holding it for ransom.
This is like those like AI conversation things, like chatbots, like you ever Google like AI chatbot, you have a conversation with an AI. This is like if you let an AI, right? Like just like you just give access to this AI, you give them access to the Republican Party, in like every Republican is being analyzed by the AI. Like, okay, so the joke is that someone tried to kidnap and kill Gretchen Whitmer. Republicans tried to kidnap and kill the governor, Gretchen Whitmer. And they don't like Gretchen Whitmer's policy. So the joke is that, okay, we don't like your policy, and LMAO, you almost got killed? That's the joke? What? And then I just want you to look at her face. Like, I want you to look at her face. I want you to stare into her soul, if there is one. Look at her face when she executes this punchline.
And holding it for ransom.
Right, okay. So she does like a blanket AI default smile, and then she scans the room. She's like, right? Because again, how does an AI learn? Well, an AI learns based on reactions. Now, am I out here saying Tudor Dixon is an AI? Yes, I am. Right? She's going out there saying some shit. She's scanning the crowd, seeing how they react, and then she's adding that to her algorithm for her future commentary. I don't know, man. Either way, I thought this was pretty funny. Not funny for the reasons that she thinks, but again, Republicans are just like, In what way, by the way, okay, so Gretchen Whitmer is holding businesses hostage? How? Like, you have to establish that. Now, maybe she spent this whole Michigan Families United conference discussing that and establishing that, and maybe this clip is out of context. If someone believes that to be the case, please send me the corrected clip in the comment section. I'm willing to bet that that's probably not the case. But, what? Like, what? I don't know, man. So, anyway, there's more on the stupid fucking Republicans portion of the show, which is the majority of today's show, apparently. We got some real dumbass motherfuckers out here. But we talk about dumb fuck, shit fuck, like literally, I use the term dumpster sludge. Like, we're talking about people that have an IQ that's so low that they're basically just dumpster sludge. Now, I want to define dumpster sludge, right? What is dumpster sludge? A lot of people have asked me, keep saying the term dumpster sludge. What does that mean? Dumpster sludge, right? Now, you ever, like, see a dumpster and then, like, the door is open? You know how the top of the dumpster has the door? Sometimes the door is open, right? Sometimes it rains when the door is open, right? The rain goes into the dumpster. Maybe sometimes there's, like, a crack in between the doors of the dumpster, whatever. Rain gets in there. When rain gets in the dumpster, right, it creates, like, a soup, right? And then it evaporates, right? And the soup, after a couple times, right? A lot of the garbage, maybe liquid garbage, maybe paper, right? It becomes a soup. It congeals, right? It congeals, and maybe it gets stuck to the walls, the bottom of the dumpster. That's what's called dumpster sludge, right? It's just like the kind of congealed, like thick, goopy mess that develops at the bottom of a dumpster. That's dumpster sludge, right? So, but we want to talk about who's the king, right, of dumpster sludge. We want to talk about the dumb ass motherfucking dumpster sludge brain asshole in chief. We want to talk about the dumbest motherfucker who's out there in the biggest capacity. Well, that would be Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, aka the Orange Man, aka the loser of the 2020 election, he's the loser. He lost. He got fucking destroyed, right? It was actually kind of historic. He got epic style destroyed, right? So this guy is such a loser. There's two ways, right? There's two ways we could talk about this clip. That's right. You might have seen this on Twitter. This clip, right? This one. Now, if you let some people, this is like one of those like dress, like remember the white and gold or whatever dress? This is like one of those, some people say they're really listening to this clip. Now, again, I think it's possible. Some people are saying that people in the crowd started to scream out the N-word. And we're not talking about the nuclear word in this instance. Some people claim that it's hard to hear. I would need maybe another, speaker to verify that. But I would, I'm willing to bet that that's probably true. Anyway, here's a clip of the king of dumpster sludge, Donald Trump, using his same, he made this joke like 6 months ago about the N-word. But check this out.
The N-word. You know what the N-word is? It's no. It's the nuclear word. He mentioned the N-word yesterday, the nuclear word, not supposed to be mentioned.
Now, you can hear someone screaming. Now, I know the clip is loud, okay? So I just want to give everyone their proper amount of time, right? Proper amount of time. Lower your volume if you don't want to be involved. Right? I'm going to raise the volume on this clip. Now, it sounds like multiple members of the crowd just scream out the N-word, the racial slur. That's what it sounds like. Now, it's also possible, the other side of this debate is saying that Donald Trump knows that that's what they're all thinking, and that's why he preemptively says, no. But you can hear someone screaming, right? You can hear someone screaming. It's just very inaudible. I'm going to raise the volume. Let's listen to this again.
The N-word. You know what the N-word is? It's no. It's the nuclear word. He mentioned the N-word yesterday.
So we're talking about here Vladimir Putin. Now he's made this joke like many times, right? So it's an old joke, right? It's not the first time he said it, right? But I'm just like one, just the idea that he's going to do this. I mean, it is funny. It is funny, right? But we have to understand his entire audience are racists. Like, he has 100% of Trump voters are racists, right? Now, again, sometimes they argue, I'm not a racist. My best friend's cousin's nephew's black. I'm not a right? Okay. Sometimes we meet those motherfuckers. Again, we're talking about dumpster sludge here, right? So we all know that everyone in the crowd is thinking this, right? We all know that that's the joke, is that that's, but there is someone in the crowd that's screaming really loud. You can hear a couple people, like a couple voices overlay. Now, I hope to God that, right, that's not what happened. It seems very likely, it seems almost 100% chance that is what happened. But, anyway, so that's Donald Trump, and that's his audience for you. And there you go. I mean, I love the reaction, right? Like, of the people in the crowd. Like, you can watch this clip. I'm gonna lower the volume so it's not gonna blow your ears out. I'm gonna play this clip on loop a couple times, and every time I play it, I just want you to focus on a new random person in the background, right? Just check all these people's faces, right? I just want you to look at them for a bit, because you're gonna learn a lot by how people react to this.
The N-word. You know what the N-word is? It's no. It's the nuclear word. He mentioned the N-word yesterday, the nuclear word, not supposed to be mentioned.
I'm going to play it one more time. Just pick a random person in the crowd and look at their reaction.
N-word. You know what the N-word is? It's no. It's the nuclear word. He mentioned the N-word yesterday, the nuclear word, not supposed to be mentioned.
I don't know, man. You could make like a 6-hour biopic about any of these people. Like, any of these people in the background, I'm sure you could make a biopic about them, and it would be very entertaining. These are some really entertaining motherfuckers out here. But of course, we understand that this was revealed, is that Donald Trump's campaign, during 2016 and 2020, Donald Trump's campaign would go to Craigslist and other places and hire black people to wear t-shirts, hats that say "Blacks for Trump." And there was so many people that just kept, jumping on this, that they actually had like roadies, like people that would go with them, like people that would like be in the tour bus, the Donald Trump tour bus, just like a squad of like 5 or 6 black people, and they'd all have the Blacks for Trump shit on. They'd be in. So if you look at any of the rallies from 2016, 2020, you're gonna like see the same people, and they always do the same thing. So I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there. If you're doing it for money, it depends how much they're paying you, honestly, right? They're giving you like $5,000 to go out there and be black and a racist. You know what? That's a lot of money. So, maybe some people make that calculation. But I don't know, man. I think it's hilarious that these people even exist, right? Like we're talking about millions of people voted for this guy. Millions of motherfuckers. Millions of people voted for this guy. That's crazy shit, man. Like, you want to talk about like why this country is going down the tubes, right? Donald Trump got a lot of votes. He got a lot of votes in the last election. Now, he lost. He's a loser. But, man, I don't know. If you know someone that voted for Donald Trump, like, we have insane asylums in this country. We have prisons in this country. I say let everyone out of prison. Let everyone out of the insane asylum. Put those motherfucking Trump voters in there. And I think we're going to be better off overall on the grand scheme. Now, things might get a little hectic, But overall, in the grand scheme, 10 years from now, we're going to be in a better position if we just make that one single policy decision. That's just my opinion. But anyway, there's the king of the dumpster sludge, folks, Donald Trump. Oh. Anyway, that's the show, y'all. Gonna be doing a movie review in a second here, but that's it. That's the show. Hopefully y'all were entertained. Hopefully I was entertaining. That's the main goal, is that I myself am, as a person, am entertaining. That's my ideal outcome. Now, I don't always get it. But hopefully today I did. You burned your grilled cheese? That's unfortunate. Anyway, let's get into a movie review, y'all. So, the end of an era. That's right, folks. The end of an era. The first franchise for this year. Testing. Okay, my microphone got fucked up. The end of an era. The first franchise of the Spook 6UR is over. I watched the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street, 2010 remake, with the guy who plays Rorschach in Watchmen. And he's Freddy Krueger now. So Robert Englund destroyed. BTFO. Goodbye. And so first of all, I just want to say this. I love the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. And this movie, honestly, I'd never seen it before. I'm not going to lie. My first viewing of this movie was last night. I'd never seen it before. I may have seen like bits and pieces on YouTube and like clips or whatever. So I'm familiar with the new Freddy a little bit. But I'd never seen this movie before. And I'm not going to lie. I went into this. I was very skeptical. I would have preferred more sequels. I like sequels more than remakes in general. Okay. And so, you know, you're telling me Robert Englund's not Freddy anymore. You're telling me it's a 2010 horror movie. So I don't, you know, people that are horror aficionados like myself, people that really dabble in the horror film stuff, they might know what I mean when I say that it's a 2010 horror movie. This was released in 2010. So if you don't know what I mean by that, just like the way that it's shot, you know, like the jump scare angles, right? You know, like just like the way that the camera works, the acting, right? Like the soundtrack is just like 2010s era, especially early 2010s, and this is 2010, so I guess it's the end of the aughts. You know, they just like, they started to get a little stale. I feel like, you know, in the late 2010s, horror movies really started to get good again. But there was like a really weird down spell, right? The late aughts, early 10s, where, you know, like they just got a little stale a little bit. You know, the CG isn't as good as it is now in the 2010 era. And a lot of movies went away from practical in like the late 90s, aughts, and early 2010s. A lot of movies went out of practical and into the CG realm. And it just wasn't there yet. You know, it just really wasn't there yet. Now, again, CG, even now we're seeing some CG in movies that's pretty lame. But overall, I would say CG now, pretty good. I mean, you can really, you know, sometimes it's really hard to tell, right? So I'm impressed with current CG. But 10 years ago, you know, it's iffy, to say the least. Although, this is a remake of the original A Nightmare on Elm Street. And so you have a lot of the same characters, but they're really the same character in name only. That's it. Like, there's a Nancy, personality-wise, completely different character. All the characters, they're in name only. Like, so this is a remake in the, like, you know, they don't really take any of the elements from the first movie, except for, like, the character names, and some of, like, a couple of the iconic, you know, like the scene where Freddy comes out of the ceiling, like, you know, that diagonal slanted ceiling, and Freddy comes out of the ceiling. Now, in the original movie, it was done with a really cool effect, practical effect. In this movie, it's done with CG. Doesn't look that good. But you know what? I know what they're going for. They're trying to go for some of those iconic scenes. Now, again, I will say, this movie, I'm not going to lie to you. If I were to do a ranking of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise and rank them by the scariest of the franchise, this one might be near the top, right? I would say New Nightmare, probably the most horrifying of these movies, in my opinion. Now, I watch a lot of horror movies. You know, I don't get scared easily, or if at all. I haven't been scared by a horror movie in a long time. So I would say this is maybe number 2 or 3. Right? Now, again, we know a lot of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies got a little goofier, especially the sequels, right? But this movie definitely went for a tone that I respect. Now, you may not know this. This is some trivia. The original A Nightmare on Elm Street by Wes Craven, right? He initially designed Freddy Krueger to be a child molester, not just a child murderer, not just someone that kills children. His original character, now you can see this in some of the sequels, where they have like newspaper clippings and they use the term child molester in some of the sequels and newspaper clippings. So that was kind of later retconned in, right? But like this movie, the 2010 version, they go all out. Yes, he is a child molester. He is a fucking freak. Now again, one of Freddy's catchphrase, not really a catchphrase, but one of the things that he does is he loves to do the shaky tongue in people's faces, you know, right? In this movie, he gets a little creepy with it. He's like licking someone's face and saying, he's like, oh, you were always my favorite when you were young, right? So anyway, this movie, they're like, yes, Freddy Krueger, it's not ambiguous. This guy's a child molester. In fact, we're going to dedicate an entire arc of the plot to confirming this fact. And you know what? Honestly, I enjoyed it. I respected it. I think that was the best part of this movie. And if you're going to remake A Nightmare on Elm Street, right, I really enjoy the fact that they made him a child molester. They made him an irredeemable freak show motherfucker. And you know what? I respect that. I thought that was the best part of this movie. I thought that the ambiguity in the original series, I get it. It's the 80s. It's a different time. They didn't want some blowback or whatever. I love how this, by the way, being a child molester is worse than being a child murderer somehow. Like, we live in this world. We can have that argument. We can have the debate. But anyway, in the 80s, the original vision got censored. And that's just what happened. So in this movie, they went all in on that. And I'm not going to lie to you. I enjoyed it. I love when they made Freddy Krueger just a fucking straight up evil motherfucker. Now, again, he's evil in all the movies. It's really indisputable how evil he is. But in this movie, they went over the top. He's not goofy at all in this movie. Now, again, even in a lot of people say that the Nightmare on Elm Street sequels get way too goofy and the original isn't that goofy. I disagree. The original A Nightmare on Elm Street, again, I just watched all of these movies over the last week. The original Nightmare on Elm Street, pretty fucking goofy. I'm not going to lie. Like, especially the scene where he's got the big-ass arms or whatever. It's pretty fucking goofy. It's a goofy movie, okay? So, let's be real. Now, again, it did get goofier as the sequels go along, right? It absolutely, like, especially when, Freddy was, like, on the beach with the sunglasses and when he was the chef and stuff, right? He did get a lot goofier. But the original A Nightmare on Elm Street, pretty fucking goofy, okay? This movie, no goofy. Not a single moment that could even be accidentally perceived as goofy. They went for the 100% in your face, this is a fucked up horror movie. And you know what? I respect it. Because my thing is, again, I would have preferred a sequel, not a remake. I don't know how I feel about a new Freddy. I think that the guy did a really good job. But again, it's really hard. When you've got someone that plays Freddy for like 30 years, it's really hard to come into a new Freddy. So I think they did a good job. I think that the character, for what they were going for, right? They were going for the horror. This is a horror movie. This isn't a cheesy slasher movie. This is a horror movie. They went for that vibe. I personally think they did a really good job. Now, again, obviously, I'm going to say that A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, is better than this one. That's my opinion. I think with most cases, the original is better than the remake. I've not seen many remakes. Maybe The Thing is one of the examples where a remake is better than the original. Though I haven't seen the original all the way through. Of course, I'm talking about The Thing from Another World from the 1950s and John Carpenter's The Thing. I haven't seen The Thing from Another World all the way through in one sitting. I've seen some clips. I've seen some bits and pieces there. So we can, there's a couple examples of remakes being better than the originals that I can think of. This one, not one of those cases. The remake is good. It's its own thing, right? It's definitely very interesting. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I would say that the ending, like the second half, is way better than the first half. The first half, I'm still kind of iffy on it, but the second half, I really think, damn, right? Like I was actually impressed. Now the scene where the parents burn Freddy alive, really good. Really good. Like, they were pissed. They threw the gasoline in there. He got burned alive. That shit was crazy. Right? Like, this movie, I mean, it was violent. It was fucked up. Right? They really played into the child molestation angle. And I think this is a good remake. I think it's a good remake. Now, again, I would have preferred there was no remake. I would have preferred A Nightmare on Elm Street, like Part 8, or Freddy vs. Jason 2, or that's where my preferences lie. I actually do prefer the goofiness, but you know what? There's a very serious remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street. It's good. I like it. I think this is a good movie. you know, again, this is the last movie in the franchise. There hasn't been a Nightmare on Elm Street movie in 12 years. So is the franchise dead? I don't know. You know, maybe I'll be doing like a Spook 12 Kilar, and like, you know, 6 years from now, there's going to be another one. Maybe I'll redo the whole franchise then. But for right now, this is the last movie in the series. Now, if there is a Nightmare on Elm Street film, would they pick up from this timeline? Would they do a Nightmare on Elm Street 2? You know, like this? You know, because you have like the Rob Zombie Halloween movies, where you have the Rob Zombie Halloween, and then you've got the John Carpenter Halloween, and then you got the Halloween 2 after John Carpenter's, and then you've got Rob Zombie Halloween and Halloween 2, right? So they have done this before in the horror movie, where they do a remake and then they do a remake sequel, right? So it has happened before. So I'm not sure. I think it's been a long time. I think really anything is possible. I mean, personally, I'm still willing to see a Freddy vs. Jason 2. Get rid of the remakes. You know, I want to see Robert Englund do a Freddy vs. Jason 2. I want to see a Nightmare on Elm Street Part 8. Or something, you know, something like that. I'm willing to but, you know, again, I'm very critical of remakes often. I think usually remakes are of worse quality. But this one, I feel like they just went for such a different vibe, that it's hard to say that this one is worse, because it was going for something so different that, like, it's hard to compare it to the original, right? Like, they take the core concept, he's a child molester who comes back in your dreams, and they run with it. Now, again, I want to say also, the Dream World CG, underwhelming, but better than expected. I will say that much. I was very skeptical of how they're going to do the Dream World with just CG and all that kind of stuff. I think it was better than expected, but underwhelming. I would have preferred if they went for a little bit more of that kind of abstract kind of stuff. They kind of just made the Dream World just like regular sets, but a little bit more wonky, and you open a door and you're at some other area, right? Like, you know, you have CG. You could have done a lot more. I feel like the practical effects used in some of the sequels, like especially in Nightmare on Elm Street 5 had the best Dream World, in my opinion, right? I feel like the practical effects from some of the sequels outdid in the creepiness this movie had. It was suitable, it worked, but it could have been a lot better. But again, this is the last movie in the franchise, so I would prefer, if Robert Englund is willing to get back into the role of Freddy Krueger, I would prefer that to be a case. I would prefer there to be Freddy vs. Jason 2, something along those lines, than like a sequel to this, or God forbid another remake. Right now, again, a lot of people have talked to me about the new Halloween movies. I haven't seen the new Halloween movies. The last Halloween movie I saw was the original Halloween by Rob Zombie. I haven't seen Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I haven't seen the new Halloween movies. I haven't seen them. I have seen all of the old Halloween films, including Halloween 3, and I watched Rob Zombie's Halloween, but I hadn't seen anything new to that. So I don't know, right, how the new remake is, the third or whatever it is. I'm sure it's good. A lot of people have recommended it to me. I might even watch them this year. I'm not sure. But, you know, I would really be upset if there was a Nightmare on Elm Street remake and not a sequel. I mean, I would rather have a Nightmare on Elm Street 2, like a sequel to this, than another remake, right? I'm just not interested in another remake. But really, you know, again, it's a great series. And, you know, I'm thinking about maybe doing like a top 5 death scenes in all of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I'm thinking about doing some of those, just a little bit, you know, some fun stuff. I don't really do that often. So if you're interested in that, leave a comment on the video of this, or just tell me in the chat right now. If that does sound interesting, like top 5 death scenes, you know, whatever. Stuff like that could be interesting. But as a franchise, again, this is my favorite of these older slasher movies. You know, comparing against Child's Play, Halloween, Friday the 13th. There's others, Texas Chainsaw. There's others, Scream. I think A Nightmare on Elm Street is my favorite out of all of them. And you know what? I also think that it really has the least amount of movies out of all of them too, right? Like, there's only 9. There's 9 of these. And if you don't count, like, you know, if you don't count the remakes or whatever, you don't count New Nightmare, right? There's only like 7 actual like continuity installations. That's very short compared to like Halloween. How many Halloween movies were there in the original run? How many fucking Friday the 13th movies are there? There's like 12, right? There's a lot. So, you know, I really do feel like this franchise is I think it's underrated. Now, again, I know it's a very popular franchise, but I think it's underrated. I think there should be more. And, you know, I'm willing to take anything other than another remake. I mean, I'll accept another remake, honestly. If they made another fucking remake of Nightmare on Elm Street 2025 or whatever, fuck it, I'm in, okay? I'm going to watch anything that this fucking franchise produces. But I really hope that they go in another direction. And I hope the franchise isn't dead, you know? But anyway, this is my favorite of that genre. I wanted to start off this 50-movie marathon, 50-movie horror movie marathon. And I wanted to start it off with one of my favorites. And tomorrow, I will announce what I'm going to be watching tonight. Tonight, I'm going to be watching Ring, the Japanese Ring. It's on AMC Plus. I've never seen the Japanese Ring movies. And I've only seen the American ones. I haven't seen the new American Ring. I know it's called like Rings or something. I haven't seen that either. But all, well, not all. I know that the original Japanese Ring trilogy or franchise, it has like some weird shit going on where there's like 2 Ring 2s or whatever. And so I don't know what's going on with that. The 3 Rings that are on AMC Plus, aka Shudder, I'll be watching those. I believe that is one interpretation. There's Ring, Ring 2, and Ring 0. That's like a prequel kind of thing. I'll be watching those. That's going to be the next franchise I'm going to jump into. And, you know, if I can track down the other Ring 2 and like Spiral and stuff, like there's the original Japanese run of The Ring is just really strange. There's the original, and then there's like multiple sequels to the original that, and then this, I don't know, man. I can't possibly tell you that shit until I've watched all the movies. But anyway, that's going to be one I'm going to jump into tonight. If you want to watch Ring 1998, I want to say, the Japanese one, I will be watching that tonight. If you want to watch along, it's on AMC Plus on Shudder, and that's where I'm going to be viewing it. If you have it somewhere else, you know, feel free. There you go. That's it. But A Nightmare on Elm Street, there you go. I'm under the impression that there is a Nightmare on Elm Street like TV series kind of thing that's like a horror anthology that has like little to do with Freddy Krueger, but some things are about it. I haven't seen it. I don't know where to watch it. If anyone has any info on that, I haven't seen that. So if anyone has any info on that, let me know. But either way, that is the end of this era for the Spook 60 Lar. There you go. Am I watching Saw and Hostel? This year, I will not be going through Saw. Next year, I will probably go through Saw. Hostel, I'm going to be honest, I've never seen the Hostels. I've never seen any of them. But I think they're on Hulu or something. I think. I remember seeing them on there before. So Hostel, I've never seen them. Very possible. Because this year what I want to do is I want to watch a bunch of movies I've never seen before. Like I started with the classics that I love, but I want to watch a bunch that I've never seen before, right? So I want to try to like broaden my thing. I've never seen the Hostels. I might watch them. So that's definitely a maybe. I'll let you know. Kill List, never heard of it. They also directed Under the Skin. Okay, excellent. The People Under the Stairs, never heard of it. Top 3 movies where you can't sleep after watching. I'm going to be honest, I don't have those kind of experiences. I just go to sleep. I know I might have a nightmare, but to me, nightmares are just action movies. Like, they're just fun for me. But I don't know. I could say the 3 scariest movies. Babadook. Babadook, definitely one of the scariest movies that I've seen. I watched Babadook on shrooms. Not too long ago, maybe 2 months ago. And Babadook for me hits close to home. It's, you know, it's got a lot of themes with like single parent, you know, child abuse, abusive mother, you know, so that's kind of my childhood a little bit. So for me, Babadook hits a little close to home. That one's pretty scary. Top 3 though, I don't know if I can come up with I don't know. I'd have to think about it. But I would definitely say one of the scariest I've seen, if not the scariest, is Babadook. That's the first one that comes to mind. But you know, that opinion can always change at any moment. So, Scream. I love Scream. I will tell you this much. I will absolutely be watching the first 3 Scream movies this year. I might be watching the newer ones. I haven't seen 4 or 5. I haven't seen them, so I might be watching those. Depends on if I can find them. Blair Witch, that's some scary shit. The Bunny Game, never heard of it? All right, y'all, that's my show. I'd like to present to you before I leave Max the dog. This is my life. I just have this dog that sleeps on the couch. And his name is Max. And he's a dog. So, there you go. Vivarium. What is vivarium? Yep, I've seen Vivarium. It sounded familiar. The one with all the houses. That's a good movie. Scary? I don't know. But that's a good movie. I recommend it. That's it. Bye-bye!
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
Brandon, I agree.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
I'll kiss every guy, man and woman, man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. I'll kiss him.
Why attack Sanders?
Why? You're getting nervous, man. Why?
But it's a class action lawsuit against all machines.
What rules, you sons of bitches?
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.